This mutation is called Hostile Takeover, and there are 3 mutators active. We have Imminent Domain, we have Missile Command, and we have Laser Drill. And this takeover is definitely going to be hostile. So we're going to see what will be happening over here. Interesting chat that's going on over there. But yeah, Missile Command is going to be relatively difficult for Vorazun to deal with over here. Vorazun has photon cannons, which is good for the first phase of the Missile Command mutator. But eventually what's going to happen is you're going to have point defense missiles coming up with the nuclear missiles. And those point defense missiles will shoot down the shots from the photon cannons. So Vorazun will have to intercept them with the Corsairs, I believe, which will be the play here. Same idea goes for Phoenix. Again, photon cannons are useful, but as soon as the point defense missiles come out, Phoenix will be having some problems. I think Phoenix will probably have to rely on a large number of scouts to overwhelm the point defense missiles to make sure that he doesn't end up getting nuked. But we'll see how the mission plays out. Vorazun, though, is a really powerful commander when it comes to pushing into the enemy bases because she has access to her time stop. With time stop available, she can stun all the enemy units in an enemy base and weaken all the defenders on that side. As you can see, Vorazun is already getting hammered. It appears that Vorazun is actually just ignoring these missiles to start, which is okay because the buildings do have some shields which will regenerate after a certain period of time. So I think Vorazun might be okay here. The first attack wave has spawned, and we have a bunch of Zerglings, which is something you really do not want to see. There are a lot of Zerglings over there. There is a pro pool that's coming out for Phoenix, but yeah, now we have Vorazun's Shadow Guard that has come up to help Phoenix. Does end up cleaning up these defenders, and these Dark Templars will make their way here and start to clear the Vorazun's expansion. Phoenix has put down a gateway and has put down 2 forges. These 2 forges are now being completed. Vorazun is just teching up, trying to get her Dark Templars out, which is the play over here. Vorazun's lower tech gateway units, like the Stalkers and the Centurions, they're not really too great. So going up for the Dark Templars and just using your calldowns to deal with the early attack waves is usually the way most Vorazun players play, and you know what, I don't really fault that. That is the way I play too. I think the Dark Templars are so good units. I think personally that the Centurions do need to be improved a little bit because there's really no reason to have them. Phoenix does end up shooting down one of these missiles here, but still actually kind of surprised that there is no static defense on this side. Just a bunch of gateways. Vorazun is just focusing on getting her Dark Templars out. So overall it's going to be okay for the start. Okay, so now we have our forge coming down, so I'm assuming that forge is going to be responsible for some more cannons that will appear on Vorazun's side. Because, yeah, right now the Missile Command Mutator is not terrible. It is, you know, it does a very little bit of damage to your buildings, but after some point you probably will want to have some kind of static defense there. Otherwise, you will end up losing your base. You cannot just trudge through it. You cannot just, you know, handle the amount of damage that it gives, because as you can see now the missile counts are going up, and this is only going to get worse as the mission progresses. Phoenix on this side has not actually... Has Phoenix taken a... Why has Phoenix built an expansion? There's a time slot that's come down here, and Phoenix is just going to go and clean up this side here with Vorazun, but I do not know why Phoenix is building a macro nexus. Phoenix is getting focused down by the laser drill. These Dark Templars are cloaked, which means unless there's an Overseer in the vicinity, the drill will not be able to aggro it. Nice dodge there from Vorazun. Does end up noticing this attack on the Void Shard, and this Void Shard will go down. And I believe this Shadow Guard will get sent into the enemy base, or to help their ally clear. Okay, it's going to get sent to the enemy base, which is better. Just, you know, weakening the enemy defenders here. There is a lot of detection on this side, so they'll have to be a little bit careful as they poke through and take out this. There's a blink forward. Unfortunately, Shadow Fury is not ready yet. Shadow Fury does end up triggering right now, and these Dark Templars get focused down, and they get sent back to Vorazun's base. But this is very, very interesting. So generally here, if Phoenix wants to clear, he builds an Immortal and uses his Immortal to clear these rocks. So this is the point defense missile I was talking about, this little thing on this side. That's a point defense missile, and it will cancel any projectile attack that is fired towards it, so that is basically all photon cannon shots. I'm not really sure why Fenix is doing this, why he has not cleared these rocks. Hell, you could even use Fenix to clear the rocks at this point, because you're not really doing anything with your army. Production-wise, yeah, like we have one Adept and one Fenix as the army there, and I don't know where the Adept is. I can't actually spot. Okay, sitting on this side here. Unit-wise for Vorazun, we have a bunch of Dark Templars and Corsairs that are coming out. Really powerful build for Vorazun, so that'll allow Vorazun to be able to deal with pretty much any challenge that comes up our way. We already have a bunch of Dark Templars here. Unfortunately for the Dark Templars, they do not have their Shadow Fury upgrade yet. This next attack wave does end up getting hit by a black hole. Nice use of the whirlwind there on Fenix's side. Does end up wiping a lot of the stuff there. But there's the attack wave does end up breaking up at some point. And Fenix now is in this base without any energy. Quickly warps out with very, very little HP left to spare. Uses the solar flare to take out that Ultralisk on that side. A bunch of immortals there, but I think Fenix is out of energy right now. And that Broodlord is just going to keep harassing him until no end there. That Broodlord is giving vision to Talus, which is causing a little bit of a problem, but the Broodlord does end up going down now. And Fenix has still not cleared his expansion, which is really, really odd. But we have 7 Corsairs and 8 Dark Templars for Vorazun. I think Vorazun is just waiting for that time stop. I think Vorazun's plan is just, get a bunch of Dark Templars, get a bunch of Corsairs, time stop, clear out all the enemy defenders in the base, and then you're basically free. So TS is ready. I think the question mark was unintended. Time stop is ready and will be good to go. I think he's telling his ally to get ready to attack, but his ally doesn't really have any units. Ally has a few adepts there, but that's essentially it. So there is a blink in here. Notice how the blink takes place before the time stop. You want the enemy units to deal a little bit of damage to your Dark Templars in terms of shield damage. So you want to basically pay attention to your Dark Templar HP, and as soon as their shields run really low, you trigger your time stop to stop your Dark Templars from taking HP damage. So that was a really good play there for Vorazun. Does end up taking out this. Unfortunately, does get caught out by that attack there. I don't think Vorazun was paying attention to the Void Charge there. And you can see over there, this point defense missile is just shooting down all the adept shots, which is why you'll probably want to have some kind of hit scan attack to take out the nuclear missiles, because it's going to get really, really nasty at some point. Dark Templars are in position, but they do end up getting caught out a little bit, but there's a black hole that comes down now. Unfortunately, the air units were not in position to take out this. Phoenix does use a solar flare to shoot down the Mutalisks, and that attack has been cleaned up, as well as 2 void shards on this side. So yeah, it does look like Fenix is going for a mass adept build, which I guess is okay. I think it was a Mutalisk that was there and ended up getting taken out. Mass adept build is okay for Fenix. The adepts are not bad units, but I think Fenix is one of the very few commanders where you really want to build every single unit he has available to him. His champion AIs are so powerful. You see there, these cannons are starting to struggle with these point defense missiles. This is only going to get worse. I think the champion AIs for Fenix are so good, especially with the mastery points allocated, where you can have attack speed on these champions. I think not having the champions is somewhat of a lost opportunity there for Fenix. The mass adept build definitely does work. The adepts attack ground, they attack air, so it's a nice cookie cutter build that you can use to take out pretty much any composition. But I genuinely believe that having like the rest of your AI champions, even if you don't want to build any of the other units, like you don't want to build additional immortals, you don't want to build additional colossi, but having at least one of the AI champions ready, I think does make a big difference and can improve Fenix's power level significantly.
Upgrade complete.
We have another blink here. See how Vorazun is just sniping these units there, blinking in, using Shadow Fury, which gives the Dark Templars invulnerability, and then just blinking out. Just weakening this, slowly pushing, waiting for the time stop to come up. Time stop will be up in another 35 seconds. So let's see there. I believe Ally wants to do the bonus, but Fenix unfortunately does not have really. These Corsairs are fine, but They're not really well equipped to deal with this bonus objective over there. And Ally decides, you know what? Go ahead and do the bonus without me, even though I want the bonus. But they're gonna get ready for this attack wave over here. I think there will be a black hole that will come down. We'll catch the first half of this attack wave. Phoenix jumps in there. Corsairs now are in position here, and you'll see how quickly this attack wave just gets shredded there by these Corsairs. And we also have a disruption web ability coming up there, which prevents the enemy units from attacking, which is also very, very useful. Ally wants to do the bonus. Vorazun, well, Fenix wants to do the bonus. Vorazun wants to do the main mission there. Time stop does come down, and this will freeze these Vipers, which is very good because these Vipers really like to cast Parasitic Bomb on these Corsairs. There are 3 more Vipers on this side, so these Corsairs will have to be a little bit careful. I don't think time stop is going to last until... Oh, there we go. Time stop lasts just in time to be able to take out these Vipers, and this bonus objective goes down to the number of adepts that is there. And now we have the most wonderful sound in any mission, and that is the nuclear missiles have started to spawn. These nuclear missiles are basically nukes. It's just as good as having a nuke here. And you can see over here, these cannons are not going to be good enough to deal with this missile. We have a bunch of adepts here that are kind of afraid. But as you can see here, oh, Fenix uses his anti-air attack to take that out. That's actually really clever. Very nice play here on Phoenix's side. But yeah, unfortunately, these cannons that I believe these are cannons that have been put down, they are not going to be enough to deal with these nuclear missiles. Each nuclear missile comes accompanied by, I think, 5-point defense missiles. So they can shoot down 5 projectiles at a time, and I think they can shoot down a total of 10. I want to say 10 projectiles, maybe 15 projectiles. You're not going to be able to take it out easily with just static defenses. You do need to be actively paying attention on the map. Now, this nuclear missile does seem to be making its way towards I think maybe Phoenix's expansion, potentially Vorazun's expansion, potentially Phoenix's main. But I think the guys can intercept this point defense missile here. As you can see, there are lots of point defense missiles, but it does they do get overwhelmed by the sheer amount of DPS from the allied army here, and that nuclear missile goes down. This base has been cleared, and all that is left now is to clean up these void shards on this side.
Are under attack.
Vorazun has done her job, and she's going to move on this side now to try and intercept this attack. But there are a bunch of broodlords here, which does make it a little bit more difficult to deal with. But that is gone now. There is another nuke that has spawned, and it is coming up on...
Our allies are under attack.
Which is where the nuke is coming up from.
Our allies are under attack. Our allies' base is under fire.
Okay, it's coming up on the top side over there. So I think the allied commanders can get into position to deal with that nuke. They still need to take out these 2 void shards that are here, which is unfortunate because it has not been cleared up yet. As Dark Templars blink in, end up taking out that side. They have to be very careful with these Vipers on this side, so as well. Corsairs do end up taking out these Vipers with the black hole. I really like the use of black hole to just disable these Vipers because these Vipers are pretty nasty. You do not want to have your army of Corsairs just get hit by a parasitic bomb. I think that's probably what happened to these Corsairs. I'm not really sure. They all seem to be at very, very low HP, and they are now going to try and intercept this nuke. Nuke goes down. There is also another nuke on this side that is making its way towards the base. As you can see over here, there are 5-point defense missiles, and I don't know if I'll be able to show you how rugged these things are. It can take a lot of beating, but I think Vorazun's army is going to be in position here to take this out. There we go. So that missile goes down as well, intercepted by Vorazun's army. But yeah, these 8 cannons on the side. Wow. Okay, that is a lot of cannons on this side. I guess that's one way of dealing with these point defense missiles. You know, they can't shoot down all the nukes at some point, right? But there we go. Actually, you know what? On Vorazun's part, that's actually not a bad idea because Vorazun just naturally floats a lot of minerals anyway. So just dumping them into cannons is probably just an efficient piece of play over there. So yeah, I guess that's fine. Yeah, 14 cannons doesn't really matter for Vorazun. She doesn't need the minerals anyway. Might as well put that down and intercept some of the additional nukes that may be coming up that side. Yeah, actually that makes perfect sense there. Anyway, Vorazun is ready. There was a time stop that gets triggered there. There is 9 minutes until the next shard activates, which is more than enough time to get the next time stop up. So Vorazun will be ready on this side. Yeah, I think this point defense. I think this nuke is just going to go down. There's just so many so many cannons on this side that just they'll just end up getting focus fired down by these cannons.
Our allies' base is under fire.
See the drill? Actually, why does?
Our allies
It's
are
actually
under
kind of
attack.
interesting there. I think one of the pylons ended up going down on that side. But Phoenix is starting to push into this space here, slowly poking through. There's an attack wave that gets blackballed on this side with Vorazun. Vorazun instantly clears out that with the Corsairs and the Dark Templars. There's another nuke that's coming up here, but it'll get intercepted by Phoenix's army, while Vorazun is pushing the bonus objective on this part. There, the nuke is over there. Are they going to target it down? We target it down now. And the Vorazun is pushing into this side with a bunch of Dark Templars and a bunch of Corsairs. Disruption webs manually being cast onto the enemy defenses, just making sure that she gets maximum efficiency out of these disruption webs. There is another nuke that has spawned on this side, but now it is on the. It seems to be going towards Phoenix's, towards Vorazun's expansion here, which might be a problem because I don't think there are very many defenses on this side. We have a bunch of Corsairs that are here on this side. They get recalled back and they end up shooting down this nuke. Very, very nice play here on Vorazun's part. Just ends up... map awareness is really important for dealing with these nukes. You have to... Unless you have bunkers or some kind of range unit that has hit scan attacks, you really do need to have some kind of response for these nukes. Black hole comes down, catches up this pirate ship. Unfortunately, the black hole does not last long enough and the pirate ship is mad now. And will start to cast its little ability there. But Vorazun is paying attention to all of this and ends up taking out the pirate ship now. Vorazun's time stop will be ready in 33 seconds. You can see it over there. 30 seconds left. There is another nuke that's coming up on the side. This looks like it's going towards Vorazun's main, I believe. But again, there is a bunch of Corsairs that are ready to shoot down this nuke. So the nuke does end up going down. And Vorazun and Phoenix are ready. I don't know what these Dark Templars are doing. They seem to be spazzing out on the site. But they are ready to push into this final base here. Time stop is ready. And this will basically clear up the rest of the enemy defenders on this way, at this base. So there is a little bit of DPSing done on the Dark Templars, and then we have a time stop that comes in, and the Dark Templars blink in, and it is just a complete slaughter over here. There is a lot of DPS out here for Vorazun's army, and a respectable amount of DPS here. Okay, so we have Phoenix building some of his other mech units as well. So he has a bunch of Colossi and a bunch of Immortals. But you can see here the Black Hole is just being used purely to disable these Vipers. These Vipers are really nasty and their AI is really good. It will try and target a parasitic bomb into the center of your clump of units, and you can end up losing a lot of your units if you're not paying attention. So just going ahead and disabling these units are there. 3 of the Void Shards have gone down now. There is 1 last Void Shard remaining, but again, there are a lot of Dark Templars and they have a really high damage output. That last Void Shard goes down, and that is pretty much the end of the game. This attack wave is not going to get to the player's base before the mission ends, and it's not going to matter, and that is GG.